Hey guys, in this video we are going to be graphing, but we're going to use a table to help us out with that. So at the top here I kind of have some steps. We are going to attempt to graph this equation, y equals 3x plus 1, and we're going to do it by creating a table of values. So even if you know how to graph this already without that, I want you to practice this because if there's any function that you don't know how to graph, this strategy will work. So it's really good just to practice. So we're going to practice here with this equation. So we're going to pick 4 or 5 values to plug in for x. So I already picked some x's here. And notice this note, try and pick some negative and positive. So I already picked some, and I have a couple negative ones thrown in there too. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to plug in these different x's into my equation to get the y's. So I'm going to kind of do that over here. So here's my equation. We have y equals 3x plus 1. So I'm taking turns with each of these x's and substituting them in. So I'm doing 3 now. Instead of x, I'm going to substitute in my value negative 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and evaluate that. So this is negative 6 plus 1 gives me negative 5. So that's what I'm going to put here. All right, so now I'm going to do the next one. So now I'm going to plug in negative 1. So same exact thing, but negative 1 now in for x. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. All right, 3 times now 0 plus 1. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And plugging in 1 now, 3 times 1 plus 1. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 gives me 4. 3 times 2 plus 1, so I get 6 plus 1 is 7. And then last one, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 gives me 10. Okay, so I took turns substituting each of those x values in. So now I have a bunch of ordered pairs. So we're going to graph these on our graph. So the first one is negative 2 comma 5. So negative 2 and then up to, or excuse me, down to negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I have negative 1, negative 2, so left 1 and down 2. 0, 1, so don't go left or right at all, and then up 1. 1, 4, so right 1 and up 4. 2, 7, so right 2 and up 7, so there's 4, 5, 6, 7. And then our last one is 3, 10, so over 3 and up to 10 is all the way at the top. And then it says plot those points, so that's what we did, and connect from left to right in a smooth motion. So here is reading my graph from left to right. So my graph starts down here, and as I move left, gradually goes up. I'm going to use a pen here so we can see that a little bit better. Okay, so I'm connecting with a smooth motion. So this is actually forming a nice straight line, trying to go through all my points there. And notice I put arrows on the end to show that that would continue if I continued plotting more x's. I just picked, I think I have 6 here, so I picked 6 x's. But we could keep going and going and going forever. So adding those arrows on the end indicates that. All right, let me make sure I'm not bleeding through there, guys. Okay, next problem, we're gonna do exactly the same thing. I already picked some x's here. Again, I picked the same exact ones. And this is the equation that we are graphing. So this time we are plugging in negative 2, squaring it, and then adding 1. So negative 2 squared is give me 4, plus 1 is gonna give me 5. Negative 1 squared is going to be 1, plus 1 is going to give us 2. Plug in 0. 0 squared is 0, plus 1 is 1. All right, now we're plugging in 1 squared. 1 squared is still 1, plus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then 3 squared is 9, plus 1 is 10. Okay. So we'll graph this guy. Here's my ordered pairs. Negative 2, 5. 1, 2, and up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, 2, so left 1, up 2. 0, 1, so just up 1. 1, 2, so right 1 and up 2. Over 2 and up to 5. And then over 3 up to 10. All right. So this one, as I work left to right, kind of has this shape. That's how it's going to continue. So again, I'm going to kind of try and connect those with a smooth curve. So this one's not a straight line. And then again, I'm going to put arrows on the end to show that that's going to continue in those directions. All right, so we got 2 more just like that. Okay, so this one, you guys will notice on this one, I purposely picked all even numbers. That's because I'm multiplying by 1/2. So I don't really want to deal with decimals just for the sake of graphing. Whole numbers are a lot nicer. So I can take half of even numbers really easily. For example, half of -4 is going to be -2. So that's just easier for me to do in my head. So that's why I picked all evens. You don't have to. You'll just end up with decimal answers for some of those. Okay, so we're doing the same exact thing. So I've got -1/2 times -4 and then -3. So on these ones, negative times negative is going to give me a positive, but half of 4 is 2. So +2 minus 4 is -2. -1/2 times -2. So again, I'm going to get a positive answer there. Half of 2 is 1. And then -4 is -3. 0. -1/2 times 0 is just 0. And then -4 is -4. Okay, so here I've got -1/2 times 2. So half of 2 is 1, and it's a negative times the positive, so it is going to be negative. So I'm going to get -1 there. -4 is going to give me -5. Plug in 4. So half of 4 is 2, but it's going to be a -2. -4 is going to give us -6. And then plug in 6, so -1/2. Half of 6 is 3, but it's going to be -3. -4 is going to give us -7. All right, plot these ordered pairs. So first one is -4, -2. So left 4 and then down 2. -2, -3. So left 2, down 3. Oh, I didn't go down for it. Oh, sorry. Did I do that one backwards? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, left 2 and down 3 is going to be right there. There we go. 0, -4, so just down 4. 2, 5, so over to 2 and down 5. And then over to 4, down 6. 4, down 6. And then over to 6 and down to, or excuse me, over to 6 and down to 7. So again, I get a nice straight line on this guy. But this one is going down as I look at it from left to right. And I'm going to add those arrows on the end. All right, we got one last example here, okay? Again, I got some x's already picked, some negative and some positive. And this one, we were taking the absolute value of x and then adding 2. So this one, we're doing absolute value of -2 and then adding 2. Remember, absolute value of whatever's inside, once I've simplified it, if I need to, is going to be positive. So absolute value of -2 is just 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Absolute value of -1 is just 1. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. Absolute value of 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. Absolute value of 1, it's already positive, but it stays positive. So absolute value of 1 is 1. Plus 2 is 3. Absolute value of 2 is just 2. Plus 2 is 4. And lastly, absolute value of 3 is 3. Plus 2 gives us 5. Plot these 6 points. So -2 up to 4, -1 up to 3, 0 up to 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5. So this one you kind of have this V shape going. So connect from left to right, going through my points, and add arrows on the end. All right, so that is how you guys can use a table to figure out what the graph of your equation will look like. Thanks for watching.